We are here at the National Wild Turkey Federation Sports Show. Just got here, they got the doors open. We're gonna go in and check it out. Alright, so I'm with Brandon Washington. He's one of my Instagram dudes that I've known, I guess, probably 3-4 years now or something, maybe longer than that, because he's back in the logging days. But you from over at Georgia over there, and I'm gonna try to say the name. I think I remember how to say it. It's Tawa Liga. So it's T-O, spell it.
T-O-W-A-L-I-G-A.
And it's a river over there, right? Or creek? Yeah, over there where he's at. So what town are you in Georgia?
Jackson, Georgia.
Jackson, Georgia, just south of Atlanta there, a few miles outside of that.
Tawalaga means burning scalp, Indian name. They dried their scalps on the banks of the river.
Mm-hmm. So you made a name, that's his Instagram name. You can look him up on Instagram, but he made a name where it's impossible for anybody to figure out how to say it or anything. But you make turkey calls though.
That's correct.
So where if somebody wanted to look you up, find besides Instagram your turkey calls, do you sell them online and everything too, or just
don't have a website?
Don't have a website. Just look him up on Instagram at Tawalaga, and you'll find him there. You send him a private message, buy some turkey calls from him or something like that. But yeah, I meant to get you on here last year, and we went separate ways and everything. So there was a lot more people here first day last year than what it is.
Just because of the Fox Fest.
Yeah, the Fox Fest and the 50th anniversary, there was so much hoopla around it. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you, man. Yeah, man. Most definitely.
There's the Furminator. So y'all remember last year I come up here to the Nwtf, bought the Furminator. We'll trade it with Mr. William on it. I got it. He told me it's gonna be a while or whatever.
Right.
Dang, it was about 2 weeks. You got back with me.
We got it turned.
Got it turned, did. And I got that thing shipped to me. When you text me that day or send me the email that it was ready, I was actually in Columbus down there at that, I was at a class, an Arbor's class down there in Columbus, right. So I wasn't that far. I didn't have my checkbook though. Right. I left with that. I didn't take my checkbook with me and everything, so I was like, just ship it to me. So got it shipped to me. But I'm gonna tell you, they went up a little bit, so they're 9,200 now.
9,200 for a 6-footer.
Yeah, not much more than what they were, but the build quality on this thing is just unbelievable. I got a vouch for that.
Well, I appreciate that.
And also the paint. I'm like, the little stuff is what matters to me.
Right.
And y'all use that powder coating on it, and the welds on everything are just, they're immaculate. But the paint, that's what makes things last, is how well the paint's on there.
Absolutely. And powder coat is the most versatile painting. Most people paint their equipment with wet paint, which has a very short life, especially out in elements.
That's
powder coat will last.
And the cool thing, they're built right down there in Milner, Georgia, right down here in the southeast there and stuff. Sir. But y'all do a lot of cool things, like it's got fork pockets right here for forks to fork it with. And they got a backing in them, so you don't run into that. But one thing that was really cool to me was the fact that the metering system on it, what it says on the back and what you said at the meter, pretty much nails it.
It's close.
It's close.
Yeah,
it's
very
close.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you're looking at no-till drills, and what I did this past year is I sprayed. I didn't touch nothing with a disc, as dry as it was, because we're in Mississippi, right straight across from where you are, dry as a bone. And I just put the seat down. I set it on a second angle. I wanted to set it a little bit more aggressive, but I just went to that second angle, put it down. I've got some beautiful plots this year and everything. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to get you on here. If people want this, they just look up.
Absolutely. Just look up theferminator.com. All my contact information's on there. Just give
call.
me a shout.
Yeah.
And I'll answer any questions you have and help you any way I can.
It's simple. I mean, you take some of these no-till drills now, the 6-footers, they're going to be 25,000 plus. If you're this right here, you can do the exact same thing with it for a lot less money. And in my opinion, it's a better, more robust product than some of the other ones out there, because like I have no problem like hitting roots or anything. The thing is built well enough to where it's going to hold
absolutely.
up. Yeah,
drills are really fragile.
They are.
And
they are.
Where ours is built like a tank.
Yeah, and in most places, you're not going to be clean ground. You're going to have a stump that you missed, or something that's flood. A lot of people doing mulching and things like that. You can still, as long as you're not running fast, you just kind of ease down through there.
Right.
It'll do it. But man, good product and everything, man. They're heavy duty. You ain't gonna hurt them, that's for dang sure. That's for sure. I appreciate it, Mr. William.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. And some of these booths have a lot that goes into them. A lot of time and a lot of money for each of these vendors trying to get exposure. Make sales, move products. This is pretty cool.
You want a sample of it?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm filming it where everybody can see what each seed looks like, you know, because you get these bags.
Yeah,
And some things are obvious, like the winter pea, you know what that is, you know.
Probably most people, cereal grains are pretty obvious.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell the wheat and
The chicory is something that you would kind of think, that's the chicory there. So it's like little.
So y'all, this is Buckbusters that I planted this past year. I just want to stop by their booth right quick. This is what I planted this past year, was Buckbuster seed, and y'all have seen some of the videos where I toured through my fields the other day when I was burning it the first of the month, burning everything, all my understory around there. Everything looked look, the best fields I've had so far this year, and you kind of got to look hard to find this stuff at some of your co-ops. A lot of co-ops have it, but y'all can also ship it.
Yes, I have a website. We start getting our seeds in the first part of July. We'll start bagging mid-July. I'll start getting the products in. We don't use leftover seeds. We take pride in fresh seeds.
Right.
We take pride in high germ seeds. We buy the same suppliers year after year. We've been doing this for over 20 years.
When do y'all, and see, the seed comes in July, when do y'all start shipping it to the?
As soon as we get those
As
first,
soon as you get it in.
Yes, sir.
But see, that's what I did this year was, as soon as I knew the co-op, my co-op had it, I jumped on it, went in there and bought my supply and just stacked it.
That's it.
And
That's
prayed
it.
for rain. And we got a little smidgen of rain early October. I'm talking about not even enough to settle the dust. I went ahead and I said, to heck with it. I'm not waiting no longer. I went ahead and put it in the ground, you know. What I showed y'all was what's in the Buckbusters mix right there, all those, so you can see them. You can go back to the video when if you buy a bag and you can look at it and you can see what seed it is, because like a lot of times, you know, some seeds are obvious, ryegrass, wheat, or that stuff is pretty obvious, winter peas. Some of the other stuff you may not know what it is.
Definitely, definitely. And if you get there and you get your plot up and you don't really know what it is, take a picture, send it to us or whatever. Or if you see something like this doesn't look like what it should or whatever. Or a lot of people forget, put excluders up. Excluders is very, very important. It's almost as important as what the pH value is, because the excluder is going to let you know how much that deer is utilizing that food plot. It might only be an inch or two tall, but it's growing, but the deer are in there hammering it, you know, night after night, day after day.
And you go in there and you think the field's not doing anything, but it really is. They're just mowing it down. Most people don't put enough green out or have enough area to really, you know, hold the whole herd anyhow. So they're just getting mowed or whatever. So this year, everything was so crazy, the drought, and I didn't put any exclusion chambers out there, fences out there, nothing on mine. I just wanted it just to grow, and now it's really showing out. I went in there early December, hammered it with some ammonia, you know, and everything.
Yes.
Keeping it fresh, keeping it juiced up. And now I'm fixing to put another dosing on it before the turkey season. And but they are looking fantastic. But you know, the problem is there's so many things to pick from now that you can pay what I call the stupid tax very easy. And I ain't done nothing with them or anything like that. They ain't giving me the only thing she gave me some sample stuff right here. But anyhow, I'm telling you, so if you want something that works, I'll vouch for this stuff right here. So I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah. So I'm still at the NWTF. A lot of y'all will probably recognize Alan Proch right here. He is the North American trapper. May have seen him at Cuz's farm over there trapping with Cranky and Matt and what have you. But Alan, you've been doing trapping forever, right? I mean, you grew up doing it, right?
My father was a school teacher by, you know, his trade, but my grandfather, my father, my uncles, they were all trappers. And I caught my first muskrat when I was 7 years old in 1977, and I like to tell people I caught the fever at that point. So.
And I've seen several videos with you and your dad and everything, know that story there and everything. Seen him catch that last bobcat, really big bobcat, really cool. So I've watched a lot of your stuff and everything. But you know, when hides were really high, they were bringing good money. Coons, you could get good money for them back in the 80s, 70s, 80s, stuff like that. Trapping kind of died off for a while, but now it's kind of coming full circle.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because the fur market is probably more abysmal now than it's ever been.
Right.
But what I've done and what I've tried to do and what other people are doing, and the people are recognizing that North American model of conservation calls for, you know, helping Mother Nature in those instances. So we've tried to show that taking the nest raiders and it's not about going out and just killing all the raccoons.
Right.
It's about conservation. It's about helping all species. So you take some raccoons out of the equation, you take some possums, some skunks, you take those nest raiders, that releases that pressure off of not only the turkeys, but all ground nesting birds, your ducks, your geese, your pheasant, all of those things.
And there is something to be said. Trapping to me is kind of the ultimate of the ultimate. You're on ground level with that animal.
One-on-one.
And you are trying to outsmart the smartest animal as a coyote on the planet, in my opinion. And I mean, it's a cat and mouse game, and I enjoy it so much, you know, checking the traps. And it's nothing more fun to me than riding up on a coyote and it being really vocal in the trap, talking to you, knows he's been outsmarted, you've got him, you know.
And they know.
And they know. Oh, they know. Bobcat the same way.
They know.
I've got a picture I'm going to show you here in a minute. I did burned about 150 acres the other day on some of our property that we own. And the turkeys, you know, they love control burns. I've got a whole wad of turkeys in there, and there's a bobcat in a leg hole right there by him, and they know that he can't go nowhere to get them. But I wanted to stop by and introduce myself, Mr. Allen, and where we could just chit-chat for a little bit. And because then this is just what it's all about. And it had become kind of a lost art, too. And so by YouTube and things like that, you know, social media, it has helped because people can go and they can learn.
They can learn, and that's one of the good things about, you know, the outreach that you can do now with the platforms that are out there, just like you. You're able to reach a much larger platform, and I'm a traditionalist. You hit the nail on the head. One-on-one with nature, outsmarting that animal. Some of them are harder, some of them are easier, but that one-on-one, getting that animal to put his foot in 2-inch space because of something that you did, that's fun. And I'm in that traditional aspect where I want people to see that, I want people to feel that, I want people to do that. It extends your hunting season.
Oh, it does.
It does all those different things, and you're providing a value to, you know, other animals.
It's different because you're in there, especially after. I usually start trapping in December is when I start while deer season's still going on, and roll, and then you transition out of that deer season before turkey season. And it's just something about being out there, and you can do the burning like I did, you know, and everything. But it's just good stuff.
Better being out there than sitting on your couch. And when deer season's over, it gives you something else to do. And like you already said, and I've said, it helps out the overall ecological and environmental aspects of your ground.
Hey, and if you're looking for something and you want to get a workout on it, go bury you some leg hole traps in the ground. Dig you about 10 sets in a day and hammer the ground anchors in and everything. I promise you, you will get you a workout, and then checking them every day, you're going to do some walking. And
don't go to Illinois when it's 1 degree.
No.
Because I was pounding my sets in a couple weeks ago when we had that cold front go through. With a pickaxe. Trying to get through 6 inches of frozen tundra, but it's just fun at the end of the day when you do all that work and you go and see that coyote waiting for you, or that bobcat, maybe a coon, whatever it is. It can be a possum at that.
I get fired up over possums.
I get fired up.
Skunks, I hate them, but it's a challenge to me just to get him done, and then try to get him out of the trap without ending up with too much of it on me.
Without smelling your truck and your house.
That's right.
And the website's NorthAmericanTrapper.com.
And you can order trap stuff
from him.
We
have all our stuff, our traps, baits, lures.
Right. If you're here at the Nwtf, you can stop by and you can buy single DPs. These are dog proofs right there. Dukes are the best that are built. I see he's got the 550 Pros down there.
550 some here.
Yep, got all the stuff.
Starter package.
Right.
Just to get people that haven't done it started.
Right.
But we're not hard to find. It's NorthAmericanTrapper.com. We're on Facebook, North American Trapper. Our YouTube is North American Trapper TV. Everything's set up to help beginners. Like somebody who's trapped 20, 30 years, they're going to listen to me and be like, well, I know all that.
Right.
That's fine.
Right.
We want people to recognize that this is something anybody can do. And a prime example, you mentioned Cuz with the grandkids.
Oh, yeah.
Those boys, I was there 3 or 4 days. I left, and they're sending me pictures. They're out there by themselves. So it's really something that furthers that tradition.
Oh, yeah. Well, good stuff. Mr. Allen, I appreciate it, man. Yes, sir. We are with the man, Mr. Cuz Strictly.
Hey, if I had as many followers as you, I would be the man.
Look, we're gonna talk about your theme for this right here. What is your theme for this show?
Yeah, tomorrow I'm doing a talk at 2:15 to 4 o'clock. It's called "There's Room for Everybody."
Room for everybody.
That's right, because you know a lot of people, they watch all the the contests and all that, and they think you got to be a great caller, you got to have the best. You don't. And some of the best stories I have are from people you would be the last one you'd expect to be a great hunter. But to me, it's like everybody's included.
That's right.
You know how it is.
There's room for everybody. Period. End of the story. There's never been truer words than that right there.
I took a guy turkey hunting one time. He was an editor from New York. He had hair down to here, pierced earrings and all. And this was 40 years ago. And I told him his name's Eddie. I said, Eddie, you got to tuck that hair up under your hat and pull them earrings out. We were in South Alabama, and this was like in 1980 or something.
Yeah.
And he said, okay. Anyway, he got out there, and we had another guy, and he killed a turkey, and all that hair come falling out. And the guy looked at him, and 30 minutes later, they were best friends. I was like, I had prejudged that guy, and he ended up being as good a turkey hunter as I'd ever been, but I was taken aback by the way he looked. I learned right then. There's room for everybody.
It is. We got to have people like you. You're the foundational part of the hunting world and everything. A lot of people look up to you. But then we've also got to be we got to keep that rhythm going with younger people and everything to understand that, because it's easy to get caught in that rut, and be one-sided on things, and the room for everybody just goes so well with all of that.
Well, I got grandkids.
Right.
And I do social media.
Right.
Not at your level, but Tim, you know that what they're hungry for, and I've learned this because I've been able to watch it from 2 different generations. They want to see stuff they can trust.
Sure.
Not selling them something. They want to find out information from somebody they can believe, and they love that old school stuff. They want to learn how to run saws from Tim.
Yeah.
They want to learn how to find turkeys from me.
You're right.
But they got to have faith in you. And if you can't deliver it to their phone, you ain't gonna get them.
That's right. It's got to be instant.
I'll get comments here because you old and you do all that Facebook stuff. I was like, yeah.
That's where it's at.
Look, and on my Instagram, 60-something% are between 18 and 34 years old, which is surprising to me. They just want good information.
I see a lot of guys that I grew up with back in the day, back in the 80s, watching them on TV. You seeing them, some of them finally catching on to some of this stuff, and they're behind the 8 ball trying to catch up with it.
Good luck.
Good luck, and all. But it kind of stayed that one rhythm for so long, and all. But you have evolved with it and kind of stayed ahead of the 8 ball, and that's been a great deal for you.
Well, I love watching you. When I want to know something, I go to YouTube. And like I was telling you, I was putting floors in my truck and all that. And I can tell within 10 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
If that's a good person.
Oh, yeah.
Or not, or if they know what they're talking about.
Absolutely.
That's why Cotton Top's on my computer at home and all these other good people. And people, that's what they're looking for. I caught Lauren the other day changing the taillight bulb in their forerunner, and I was like, how'd you know how to do that? YouTube.
Yeah.
You either in or you out.
Are you out? That's right. That's right. Man, you've been busy, and we're just dealing with this music. They're fixing to fire back up over again. We're trying, but man, I know how it is working these shows. I have worked tons of them. It's very grueling and tough. And I just appreciate what you do and what you've done, for me and getting on here like this and everything. And then just the whole hunting. I mean, Mossy Oak kind of changed the whole landscape of hunting right there in West Point, Mississippi, right there real close to where I live,
It's easy to take that for granted, but it's also something to be proud of.
Oh, yeah.
And look, when I had you on my podcast, you didn't need no help. I was looking for you to promote the podcast. Your stuff's so good.
Yeah.
But look, love helping them Mississippi guys or anybody else. But your stuff, my stuff, G-rated.
Yes, sir.
Anybody can listen to it. So I appreciate you pointing that out.
Oh, yeah.
And you probably need to raise your bar a little bit. If I'm a big deal.
I appreciate you, cuz. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. So if you look at all that, you obviously see that the outdoor industry and the outdoor world is very alive and very well. So many outdoor enthusiasts out there. It's crazy. Always has been. We got to continue the fight on to keep promoting it, to push it to where younger people coming up and even involving people who are on up, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, getting them involved in it, because there's strength in numbers. I mean, there's a lot to be said about that. And I encourage anybody, if you're an outdoorsman, be sure that you are voting in elections. That is one thing that is really, really important, so that your voice is heard for the outdoors and the different things that go on along those lines with all the different game and fish commissions and all that stuff. But all those people that I interviewed on here are great, great people. They're kind of backbones of the industry. You got Brandon over there. He's a guy over there in Jackson, Georgia. He loves building turkey calls, and he builds some good ones. He builds a lot of box calls. He builds tube calls. Here's one of his tube calls right here. He gave me last year. It's a latex tube call. He builds crow calls, locators, and just a good guy. He's in the kind of the dirt clearing business, kind of does a lot of the same stuff that I do. And he got the seed company, Buckbuster Seed there. I very, very happy with the results that I got from their stuff this past year. And their stuff is legit. There's a lot of things out there that people are trying to get a piece of the pie on the outdoor stuff, and you kind of got to weed through all that stuff, to find the good stuff. And sometimes it makes it a little hard, and you spend money, you spend it, and you're like, man, I shouldn't have spent money on that. And then North American Trapper, Alan Probst, I had been following him for a good while, and I had wanted to cross paths with him, and I was trying to time it when he was back at Cuz's farm. Well, he wasn't coming this year to Cuz's farm, and so I knew he's coming to the NWTF, so I made a point to get over there and talk to him. So that was a good deal. He's a great hub for trapping information if you really want to know the ins and outs on it, because he's been doing it for so long, and he knows his stuff. There is no doubt about that. And if you need traps, you can order them straight from him too. And then we got Cuz right there, just phenomenal guy. His whole family was up there. His wife Pam and Lorraine and Matt and Cranky, they were there too. They were actually, I seen Brandon first and then ran into them second when I was up there, and done a lot of stuff with Cuz, a few videos and 2 podcasts with him and what have you. But just a great group of people. You can find Cuz. Cuz's big thing now is a Fistful of Dirt podcast. Just look that up on any podcast platform and you'll find that. Hope you enjoyed that. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll catch y'all later. Later, taters.